Brodes Media.
I call that a sanity game. The result, the outcome, it either makes me go insane or I keep my sanity. That's right, I didn't go insane yet. I didn't break fully yet. I'm close. And this may just be delaying the inevitable. But I kept my sanity intact today thanks to Jesus Luzardo. Thanks to the offense scoring 7 runs. Hallelujah! Extra base hits, everybody. I didn't know if it was fucking possible, but it is. Now, it helps when there's a guy, Ben Brown, on the other side of the bump. But you got to take advantage against that. Do you know how many times I had to look up who the hell was pitching on the other team, only to find out that they had a 7 ERA, but they look like the best pitcher to ever exist against this lineup? So when we head into the action on a Wednesday afternoon at CBP against a good team like Chicago with a chance to take a series and a season series which could potentially mean a lot more down the road in a sanity game, and they win. Thank you. I'm just saying thank you. And it was so pleasurable to watch Jesus Luzardo. Now, there are a lot of videos. Pitching Ninja is one that's going viral. I saw a bunch of others as well, showing details of Jesus Luzardo throughout the 2-game stretch that was really ugly. And then this most recent start today. And with the changeup and the hand placement with the glove and all of it. Essentially stating that it looks like pitches were being tipped. I actually side with Ben Davis, who was on the postgame show with Michael Barkan, who thinks it was more about pitch sequence and execution and location and the precision. Because he was catching a lot of the plate when he was getting squared up and tattooed nonstop. Every single AB in the gap, squared up, down the left field line. Unbelievable level of gross. I'm just being honest. It was gross to watch. But he was catching so much of the plate. And that's not tipping pitches. That's just not being sharp. And when you see the difference between the pitch usage, the sinker, out of here. I don't want it. Goodbye. Throw it in the trash. And then you see his 4-seamer go up a tick of 12% in this outing. And the sweeper was deadly at times. But you throw away a whole pitch, and then you see your fastball 4-seamer rise over 12% with the usage against the Cubs. To me, that's just being better, throwing better, pitching better, and throwing hitters off with the way that you are attacking with your sequence. That doesn't mean there can't be other variables too. But I think it's what I just mentioned being the most important. And quite frankly, it doesn't really matter what. All that matters is it gets fixed. Because you are starving for Jesus Luzardo to be a star in this rotation. Especially when losing Aaron Nola to the injury, and it seems like that's going to take a serious amount of time to get him back. And he's supposed to be, he being Luzardo now, that guy right behind Zach Wheeler. If this team is going to do anything, you need him badly. So for him to shake off that horrible 2-game run with 6 innings, 10 Ks, and the most impressive of it all is not walking any of these guys. This is a deadly lineup. This is a lineup that have a billion threats. Sometimes you shy away because you know if I make a mistake, fuck. If I screw up, damn it. Especially when you're not pitching your best, there's doubt. There's a lack of confidence. You put someone on base for free because you don't want, I don't know, I was going to say Kyle Tucker, but maybe a right-handed bat to destroy you. And I've seen against lefties, the ball leak a little bit over the plate too much. That's when someone does something serious with it. Not today. So the no walks, to me, is better than the 10 strikeouts in the 6 innings of work with about 99 pitches. Amazing. Incredible. As great of a bounce back as you could possibly ask for, knowing that this team needed to find a way to win this series for the morale. Let's get to the timely hitting. I love the fact that, number one, before we get to the most important timely hit of the game, I love how they were able to give Jesus Luzardo, after the top half of the first inning, because you didn't have a chance to take the batter's box yet. But once he got back out there for the second, you already have a lead. And not just a 1-run lead, a 3-0 lead. So now it's easier to settle in 2. Because you can attack knowing if I do allow a solo homer, right? Maybe this goes hand in hand as we're talking out loud. If it's a 0-0 ball game, maybe you're afraid to make a mistake pitch when you're not feeling your best. If you're up 3, all right, guess what? If I challenge him and he does square it up and he does make some noise with it, it's 3-1. It's okay. That's not going to kill me. That's not going to take away from this game right here. If that even makes sense. But you get my point, and that's not going to change much. We got wiggle room to work with. The everyday players and the hitters having the starters back, I think, is extremely important just to allow for him to take the mound without the intense pressure after that top half of the first. That could go a long way right there. That breath. Zoned in. And I think he did a lot of homework to make sure that he was, crossing all the T's and dotting on the I's on all the tipping pitches stuff and the pitch sequence stuff. They was probably zoned in anyway to send a statement to his group and to this fan base that I'll be all right. So he probably would have shoved regardless, because I did see some killer out of Luzardo today, so I don't want to make it seem like it was only because his everyday guys were able to tack on a crooked number early, but it sure does help. It sure is an advantage. I'm sure as hell if you asked him, hey, you can either have it or not have it, he'd love to have it. So the activeness on the base paths, being able to take off and steal a couple of bags, being able to produce, boom, lovely. But this is where I really think the game turned around. Schwarber had a solo shot. Now it's 4-0. Or maybe it was 4-1 at the time. Regardless. In the 4th inning, Kyle Schwarber struck out. And when Kyle Schwarber struck out, with men on, with a chance to add some real separation, I went, dude, Ben Brown? Come on, Kyle. You already showed us that maybe the calendar did flip to June. You already hit a moonshot. Maybe it's time to start heating up. Put this game away yourself, please. Come on, Schwarber. We need you. This team desperately needs you to get going, please. Especially without Bryce Harper's presence, please. He strikes out with Ben Brown on the bump. And here's Bomer. 2 outs. Single. Scores 2. Now, the lead feels significant. Now, with the 6-1 lead just awesome. That Alec Boehm hit in the 4th inning felt huge. Huge. Now, I will have to throw my shade at Boehm because when he hit the useless home run, another wall scraper. Even when this team does hit some homers in this series, Kepler's probably shouldn't have went out. Boehm barely by an inch. It's unbelievable. By an inch. Outside of Kyle Schwarber, when they do it, it's by a damn inch. If that, I mean, you're really saying centimeters too. I guess it doesn't really matter, but it makes me laugh because of the lack of power by this team and all the singles and barely any extra base hits. When they do actually give us what we want, it barely happens. Unless it's a Schwarber hit, you know? Because those second decks, the second he hits one, he pimps it and appreciates it. Not pimps it like some of the young cats, if you will, but Schwarber's version of pimping it, just enjoying it. Pimping's the wrong word because he doesn't really do that, but you could tell by his body language when he gets a hold of one and he rips it. He knows he rips it. You're not getting that from anybody else, and you especially didn't get that from Boehm. All jokes aside, though, just having some fun with it. The truth is, expanding the lead to a 5-run game, I think really did allow for this team. I don't want to say to take their foot off the gas because that's how you get yourself in trouble, especially against an offense like Chicago. But you got to remember, I mean, this bullpen is thin as it is. You already had to deal with the DFA of Carlos Hernandez, which I never want to see that guy ever again. But your bullpen is just disgusting. And the more runs you score, then you can put in a Luzardo for 2 innings. And not have to sweat and get the sphincter tight. See what I'm saying? So thank you, Boehmer. All right. There's where we are with that.